Okay, let's learn how to play Gloomhaven on Tabletop Simulator. We're going to be using a mod called Gloomhaven Fantasy Setup, and coming up I'm going to show you exactly how to get that, and then I am going to go through exactly how to play Gloomhaven on Tabletop Simulator, how to set it up, how the mod works, common errors and how to fix them, and some really cool tips and tricks that I think you're going to love. So stick with me, we'll go down and we'll get Tabletop Simulator. We'll get the mod on Tabletop Simulator here coming up. But just one more thing, very new Gloomhaven players, this is not going to show you exactly how to play Gloomhaven. It's going to be some basics along with how to actually use Gloomhaven in the Tabletop Simulator. And so up here, I'm going to put a link to my Gloomhaven how to play video. If it's not up yet, just wait a few days, it'll be up shortly, and go ahead, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so that when I do post it, you're notified. And let's go and get Tabletop Simulator Gloomhaven Fantasy Setup mod. First, we are going to go ahead and get the mod within Tabletop Simulator. So we go to Workshop here. We search Tabletop Simulator. And then you go here and you hit this little button and you subscribe to it. And then you're actually going to have that within Tabletop Simulator. Super, super easy. And let's go ahead and get to the table and I'm going to show you exactly how to set it up. Okay, so here's Tabletop Simulator. We're going to create. And we can go multiplayer or single player. I'm just going to do single player because it's easy. Here's with the mod right here. So you just click into the mod. You load it up. And let's get it started here. So first thing is you want to get rule books for everybody. So online flipping book for Gloomhaven is really, really good. You want to go and get those, much easier than reading the rule books here. Next, we're going to add players. So we just left click here, we add the players, and then we're going to choose characters. So just grab them out quickly, like that. We're actually going to go with a Tinkerer, and we're going to go with a Spellweaver. And make sure you hold it till it pops up like that, otherwise you'll be dragging stuff out of it like this. Oops. Yeah, really annoying. Just make sure that it actually lifts all the way up, and then you drop it here, and it's going to load up everything for you. So just take a quick look down here. You can see we've got our modifiers that we can put in. We've got the rest of our cards that we're going to choose when we level up. Here's the box, there's nothing left in it, and here's your character sheet. This is our hand right here, and it is hidden. Right now we're playing as the Spellweaver. I can go ahead and change color, and you'll see here when I change to here that these cards become hidden. So nobody can see your cards when they're actually in the hand. So next, we're going to choose our cards. So quickly, I'm going to go in here, and I can just move the cards I don't want into my inactive area. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly look at my hand, and I'm just going to grab the X cards, and I'm going to put them right here. If you are really new to playing, simplest thing to do is put the X cards down. So that's what I'm going to do here. There's potables. Okay, so now we've chosen cards. The next thing I want to show you here is a party sheet. And this is very important. Every single time you play, make sure that this is updated. Because if you don't, it's not going to automatically set your level for the scenario and some other things. So we got player 1 and we got player 2. Well, now we go here and we actually set the level. And what that's going to do is it's going to generate average party level. And then you can click here, and very hard is going to set it to scenario level 3, easy 0, normal 1. And as you change these up, this is actually going to change to force, and that's how it's going to set up the scenario, which I'll show you coming up here. Party name here. I just want to have a quick talk about this. Here's your achievements, and it's weird. You can't really see your cursor. I don't know if there's a better way to use this, but the way I use this is I actually just do a space like that. And then you're going to be able to clearly read all of your achievements. If you don't, right, it just kind of scrolls up and you're going to start losing it. You're going to see here that achievement goes. And the only way that you can actually scroll through this, if this does happen to you, is just to click in here and then use your arrow up or arrow down on your keyboard. And that's going to show you everything that's in there. And then here's party reputation. It's actually going to change your gold, your shot price, depending on what your reputation is. Next, we're actually going to unpack a couple things from this Gloomhaven box. So if you right click on things, you can search it, and in here it's going to show you everything. And don't worry, there's no spoilers here. It's all hidden. Here's the locked characters. So I like to bring the locked characters out, and I just put them over here so that when people do retire classes, they can just go quickly grab, and you can search in here, and it's going to give you a spoiler-free view, and I'll show you that in a minute. The other thing we want to do here is we want to bring out your treasure cards. So in a lot of scenarios, there's going to be treasure. So you just go ahead, drop it over here. I like to drop it right beside the items. And then to rotate it, you can use Q and E as you're hovering over it to actually align it there. And then as you're going through scenarios and you pick up treasure chests, you just search in here. And there's all your numbers. Super, super simple. Hide that for a sec. Okay, next I'm going to show you just a really cool trick to set camera position. So first we've got camera controls here. This is a really good mod. It's got some camera controls. So this is gonna punch you in between the different players. There's the play area, zoomed in pretty far. And then there's the actual scenario. What I like to do is I like to set up different camera angles. So I'll show you exactly how that works. I like to have one over here by the map. And so you press Control and then you press a number and it's gonna save that camera position. And so if we go back here, then we hit Shift and 1 and it takes us to that loaded camera. You can set up a bunch of cameras like this. I'm not sure if it's 9 is max or not. I don't think I've ever set up that many. One other thing I like to do is I like to go right here, and once a scenario is set up, it works a little better, but I would set a camera kind of on facing each way, and then I like to set one up here as well. And you'll see why later. So I'm going to go Control 2. I'm going to set my camera and then we'll come back there. So now if I go Shift 1, we go here, Shift 2, we go here. You can set up your cameras however they want and they will get saved as well. So that as you play the game each time, you'll have set camera positions and you'll be able to zoom around quite a bit. It makes it so much nicer to play. And I'll show you another really cool trick later on around, some more camera controls that are going to really help you navigate around the playing table. Next, we're going to add the play area. And this is kind of where a lot of, management happens, let's call it. So we've got hit points here. We can add hit points, but they're already at max hit points. So it won't let you go above. When we level up and stuff, I'll show you exactly how you raise your max hit points. But for now, you can move your hit points up and down here. And then you can also draw a modifier card. Whoever's turn it is going to draw this modifier card. Sorry, this is for the monsters. Whatever monster turn it is going to draw this modifier card. So we'll just quickly show it. And you can just put it back. Make sure you shuffle this because this is always the same. It is not random. So let's put the card back here. And just hit R when you're over something to shuffle it. One time is good enough. But I just did it like 20 times for some inexplicable reason. Okay, so we've got hit points for each player here. This is how you create elements. When you end a turn, elements are automatically going to go down And I'll show you that in a little bit as well too when I actually just play the first part of the scenario. So this is going to go down here. And we can consume it. So we create light, we create fire, we consume fire, we consume light. Pretty straightforward there. And then we'll go through this kind of during the turn. This is where you place your cards and where you actually like play and things of that nature. Okay, the next thing you're going to do, you're going to take a personal quest. You've chosen your cards. You're going to take a personal quest. The easiest way to do this is just to hit the number 1. And that is automatically going to take it right to your hand. I don't know if you saw it there, and I don't want to spoil it, so I won't zoom in too far, but you see it's drawn it exactly to the Tinker's hand. And so anytime you're drawing cards, you want 3, you can draw 3. Let's take all 4 player references because we're crazy. Oh, there they all go over there. And then you've got to drag them back if you want to put them back. Yeah, I really like that trick. So choose your personal quest. And then we're going to load items. So along here, we've got a list of items by prosperity. And we're going to start with prosperity 1. And in the beginning, you start with 30 gold. So each person can buy 30 gold worth of items. Okay, so we're going to move this over. And this is really cool. So we start it in shop offer. And make sure you pick up the whole stack. Always get in the habit of holding it down until it pops up. Unless you're specifically trying not to do that. Right? And then if we do want to load these out. So now we want to look at these. We're actually going to lay out the cards. Hit the button. They're going to lay up there. And here's where my camera comes into play. Shift 2. And there's my camera. And then don't forget, you can hit space bar to home out. And then you can just hit Shift Z. Oops. Oh, I accidentally hit Control Z. That's okay. Shift Z zooms in. And there's all your items right there laid out for everyone to see. I actually like to leave these out all the time in the game. I pretty much never put them back. And then as you load more items, you can just drag them into shop offer. And you can lay them out. I'm not going to go up there anymore because I don't want you to see those prosperity 2 items in case there's some spoilers there. And then you can always just bring everything back by clicking shop offer again, and it will bring everything up in this area right here into shop offer. And now those prosperity 2 cards are actually hidden. Next, we're going to load up city and road events. Over here, you're going to start by grabbing 1 to 30. City's on the left here, so we're just going to grab the stack. And we're going to put it right there. And then we're going to grab road events 1 to 30. And then just give them each a shuffle with R. Press that R button. Give them a good shuffle. And then when we're actually pulling a road event, I'm just going to bring 1 card out, right click, and you can change the state. So don't read this card, but I'm going to flip it over. See how everything's hidden right now? And then when you click the state, everyone shut your eyes, you can actually see up here now. And so we're going to go back and hide it. And then you just click state 2 or state 3 to choose option B. Really cool, nicely hidden. And now we're just going to go and put it back and flip it and throw it in the stack there. Next part is, how does the map work? The map is really neat. I actually like it a lot. And I forgot to use my camera there, but use your camera. It makes it a lot faster, and you're going to get really good if you actually use WASD to move around a lot, and then use like Shift Z to zoom and space bar to go to home, and then your saved camera positions. You're going to be able to zoom around the battlefield, around the table, and you know, it's really going to help you out a lot. So to add a map, sticker, here's number 1. This is Black Barrow, so no spoilers here. I'm just going to be talking about that. We just add it right here. and it puts it on. And then when you're done the scenario, you click here and you mark it off. Sometimes it doesn't always work. Oh yeah, you got to make sure the red button's up. And then up here is where we can add our stickers. So you can add an achievement, just choose it and it will go anywhere. It'll go in the right spot. You don't actually have to, you know, designate a spot. You can just add it in there. So we're gonna add, you know, that one on there in the right spot. Perfect. Next, I would just suggest you grab, if you're new, just grab a player reference, deal them out, etc. Okay, let's start a scenario. So the first thing we do is we draw a city event card here now. And so you're going to draw a city event card whenever you're in Gloomhaven. Because we're starting in Gloomhaven, we're going to start out by drawing a city event. And then when we travel towards the scenario, we're actually going to run the road event. So take one city event and right away, basically, as soon as you get everything else set up. And then on the way, you're going to pull a road event. Okay, so let's load up the map here. We're going to go into game setup. We've got here's the scenario number. You can just choose whatever scenario number you want. You can choose whether it's hidden rooms or revealed rooms. I like to play with hidden rooms. It's actually one thing I didn't love about playing Gloomhaven originally was that you could see the rooms. And then you can choose standee or hex. Standee is, you know, typical standee. Hex is just these weird yellow hex things. I don't like it at all. So I always play a standee. And then you just create the map. And it's going to load up the monster here for this room. And it's going to load up our starting positions and everything. So let's actually play here. And I'll go through the play area as I play. So let's just choose our starting positions. If you do Shift Z, you've got to remember that you're Shift Z'd and Z out too. It's one thing I actually still forget quite a bit because once you're already into the zoom and you start zooming in and out, that's going to be your zoomed in position. So here we've got the Spellweaver and the Tinkerer. Let's play a couple cards here and we're going to move and we're going to go ahead and attack. So Alt is great for looking at your cards, right? And whichever one, and here's a cool trick here. So you want to play your leading initiative in the left-hand slot here. And that's actually going to automatically set your initiative up in this initiative tracker. I'll show you that as we get a little further, but we're going to use the num lock in here after you decide. So I'm going to use Stun Shot bottom. And I want to go at initiative 20. So on the numlock pad, I'm going to press 1. And then I actually want to play Flamethrower. It's Net Shooter. There's Flamethrower. And I want that in the position 2. So that's 2 on the numlock pad. And then we can actually go over to the Spellweaver. So we switch here. We change colors. We go to the Spellweaver. And the Spellweaver is going to go really fast with Mana Bolt, as I'm sure Spellweavers are familiar with. So we're actually going to go numlock 1, and then, oh yeah, I want to show you an example. So I'm actually going to play Aid from the Ether so that we can see a summon example as well. So I'm actually going to go 2 now. Oh, numlock 2. So now we've got our card set, we've got our monsters out, and we're actually going to play around here. One thing I did want to show you just before I get into that though is pinging things. It's another tip I've got here that I think you're really going to like, and it just helps you coordinate with everyone else. Hey guys, look at these items here. Hey, go over and look at this. You can set an arrow wherever you want. It's going to stay up for about 5 seconds, I'm going to say, and you just use tab to show everybody what you're talking about. And especially when you've got new players, this is going to be really useful for you. Okay, so now we've got the initiative. We've got our leading cards there. We're going to start the round. So battle interface, start round. And that's going to flip these over. And it's going to put all the initiative right here. And if you click this little arrow here, this is going to show exactly what the enemies are doing. I really like having it up, but you can also see right here what their stats are. So 3 move, 4, 2 shield, which means, yeah, he's super tough because I've got the level set really high right now. So I set the level really high over here on purpose to show you what can happen, right? Didn't change it back. And so when I loaded up the scenario, I've got these super tough guys here. And you can also, generally you tend to go the other way. You tend to have it set to levels that you previously were and you forget to update it. And then all of a sudden you're steamrolling every scenario because you haven't updated the level there and you're so used to the game loading it up for you. So just remember, set a routine that every time you play, you do a level check with your friends and you go over and you update that party sheet. So let's just play our cards here. We've got Mana Bolt and we've got Aid from the Ether. So I'm actually just going to summon here with the Spell Weaver. And that's going to draw some aggro, but that's okay. And what we do when we summon is we take a summon token. So we've got our summon tokens here. We just bring that summon token over. And I'm not making optimal plays here, so nobody call me out on this, please. This is actually going to be for the card. You just reacted now. And this is actually going to go into the active area. So we're going to put it on active. And we're just going to put it there. And then we're going to take our summon token and we're going to put our summon out on the board. Okay, now it's going to be the Tinkerer's turn. Tinkerer's going to move up and attack. And I just took this flamethrower so I could show you the elements and the actual state. So we're going to move the Tinkerer up here. Again, no optimal plays or anything. We're going to play this card. And don't forget, once you're done the Spellweaver's turn, you can just hit discard here. And it's actually going to appear directly there. And then if you hit lost, it's going to appear directly here. Okay, so now it's the Tinkerer's turn. We can always draw attack modifier as well if it's the Spellweaver's turn. I just want to quickly show you that I don't have to change between. So whoever's turn it is, this draw attack modifier is going to draw it directly onto their board there. Okay, so Tinkerer's going to move. He moved up here. He's going to attack. We're going to create fire. We're going to do some damage, so we're going to pull a modifier. I guess I just will switch because it makes more sense. Okay, so battle interface. He's going to draw attack modifier. Make sure you're specifying which enemy you're attacking to when you're attacking multiples like this. No cheating. And then, yeah, we create the element. Don't forget, this happens at the end of the turn. Nobody else can use this, just in case you're a new player and you don't know that. And then we're actually going to wound these enemies. So we can drop it. When it pops up above, you know it's on it, right? Here, pop up above. There's a wound for those guys right there. It does not track automatically when you've wounded somebody or stunned them or immobilized them. That's something you're going to have to remember yourself. So don't forget that when you're doing different turns. You can just get rid of it by clicking on it. And done deal. Okay, so let's say we did some damage. Now we did 3 damage. He's got 2 shield. That's -1 hit point. And then this guy here has no shields. So it's going to be 1. Oops. Sometimes you got to just go around a little bit. So that's 3 damage there. Then we've got a wound. So on their turn, we're actually going to give that damage from the wound. So we'll just throw the wound back on there. And there, they're wounded. Okay, so we've attacked, we've done all our stuff, we've talked about summons, and the easiest way to keep track of summon damage, I find, is to actually clone your hit point tracker right here. So right click, clone it, put it right there, and then change back to your hand, of course. And what you can do is you can right click and then hit state and change this to anything you want. You can also put the button up here out of the way if you want. You can kind of put it anywhere. But I find this is a really elegant solution to tracking your summon hit points. So far, it hasn't broken anything. I've tested it over a handful of games. Let me know in the comments if you do try it, if anything happens, or if it worked well for you. Okay, so we've got all that. Let's say they attack us now. So it's the Bandit Guard's turn. This is start and end round. Here's draw attack modifier. Here's where we draw for the monsters. So Bandit Guard is going to attack Tinkerer, right? And you can see here, move +1, attack -1. So if it's the elite, elites go first. It's going to be attack 3, so 4 -1. And the modifier is -1, so it's actually 2 damage. And we're just going to go, we can go there, or we can also do it here depending on where we are. Okay, so he's attacked. Now he's going to attack. So we're just going to quickly pull a couple modifiers. So +0 and then +1. You know, this guy actually moves over here and attacks. Sorry, Tinkerer. And he takes a bunch of damage. Okay, so let's just pretend that we've gone past that part. We're going to open this room here, double click, and it's going to load the next room. What it won't do is automatically draw this modifier now. So what you've got to do is just click here, and you've got to draw it. And now they get their turn as well at 16. So as soon as whoever opened the door's turn is over, then the archers are going to act. Okay? Oh yeah, one thing I forgot. So let's say you killed one of these guys. You just 0 them out and then click defeat. And it's going to automatically drop a money coin. Now, a cool little trick is to take this, you put it on your character mat, and then at the end of the scenario, it's automatically going to calculate your loot. So we've attacked, they've attacked. We're going to end the round. Fire is now waning, so it moved down. And then what it does is it's going to reset everybody's initiative. Now, before the end was round, we should have actually gone lost here. And then discard here. And now that we've ended the round, and I just want to show you something quickly here. I'm going to fudge it because... so, this reshuff, okay? This is going to be perfect, actually. We're going to put that back. We're going to start round. It's going to draw that card. Oh, yeah. You always have to have cards first. So we're going to have 2 cards. And now we're going to start the round. Now this guy, because he was active at the beginning of a round, is going to flip the modifier card. It's only when you actually load the room in the middle of a round, you've got to manually do the initiative. So now we've got everyone's initiative. You can see here he's got a reshuff and he's got a reshuff. And so if we end the round, it's actually going to automatically reshuffle it. It knows whether it's a reshuff or not, so you won't actually have to do that. Okay, let's talk about long resting. Long resting is really simple. You click the button, It's going to give you initiative 99 for the round. And then you're just going to go and you're going to look through your discard. So now we're going to go ahead and search, and then you just decide which one you want to throw away, and you just drag it out. And you put it in your Lost. You can put it up if you want. And now you only got 2 cards here. You press 2, just regular 2, not numpad 2, and draw them back into your hand. And don't forget to heal as well. Oh, you got to get out of search first. And there you go. And make sure you're on the right person too. Short resting. So for a short rest, pretty simple. All you do is you put your cards here. They're in the discard again. You flip them over, and then you shuffle them. And then you just take one, and you drag it over to your Lost because you don't get to choose. Don't forget you can take 1 damage to choose another card as well. Next part I want to talk about is leveling up. So the first thing you're going to do when you level up is you're going to take your cards out of here. You're just going to search. Let's get rid of this. You're going to search in here, and we're going to look for our level 2 cards. There's one, and we're going to put it down here for a second. Oh, there's Icy Blast. And here's your area where you can keep all your cards that aren't in your hand. So these are kind of your alternates. And then you can choose between these. Let's go back to the Spellweaver. So now we can choose any of these cards, and then we'll put the other one back. You don't really have to take them out, but I like to take them out just to look at them side by side. Go, okay, I'm going to take me some Flashing Burst. I put this back here, and now Flashing Burst just stays here to be put into the hand. You can remove, your other cards you're not taking. So this right here is your pool of available cards. And when you level up again, you're going to choose a level 3, and you're going to put it in there. And then you can always choose just from these cards here. Okay, so I told you I was going to talk about the hit points. Here we are right here. So we can actually change the max hit points by being on this bar. It's usually easier if you're not by an enemy. So here, there's a button there. We can level up and go to our next set of hit points, which is probably 7 for the Spellweaver. Yeah, remember? Yeah. Low health track, so +1. Now it's got 7, so now you can actually go up to 7, and it won't give you that max error. That's pretty much it for leveling up. Another thing I'd like to show you quickly is enhancements, but be careful. Watch this part over a couple times, because when you do enhancements, you can very easily break a card. And then I'll show you quickly how to fix that as well. So in here, we've got all of these. Let's get rid of that. Let's just, grab a disarm. So now it's a disarm stamp. Let's grab a curse, actually. And we're going to attack to curse. So just zoom in. And then you can see where the stamp is going to position. And you stamp it. Nice. Looking really good. And then you can just rotate it. No, you have to rotate it first. Let's put it right here. Yeah, you got to rotate it first. Don't forget that before you stamp it. And you're going to put it right there. Now, what will happen is sometimes these cards are going to get stuck now. They're going to get stuck where they are. For whatever reasons, enhancements breaks things. Like, look, I cannot put these cards in my hand. Let's try and put them over here. Nope. They won't do anything. So how do you fix that? Well, you've got to group them. So to do that, you just select it, you press G, and you group everything into one hand, and then redraw them back into your hand. So I'm pressing 9 now, not on the numpad, just the regular number 9 to draw it all back into my hand. And you can see now that the enhancement cards are actually working. So we had Hardened Spikes, it was enhanced, Retaliate and Curse. And now we can move it wherever we want. We can put it back here and the card will actually work again. I know a ton of people have had trouble with this, and that's the simplest solution. Just regroup them using G, and that's going to help you a ton. Okay, now let's say you accidentally delete something. I'm going to delete all of the battle goals. And this can definitely happen. Weird things get deleted. People just lose their minds. They delete random things, and all of a sudden you're like, where are the battle goals? They're totally gone. You're going to go Games. You're going to go to these 3 little dots here. You're going to go to Expand and double click it. And then in here, you're just going to type Battle. And there's the battle goals. You're going to go here. You're going to spawn. And bingo, they're back. Make sure that you get rid of all the other old cards. Like if a couple get deleted or something like that, then get rid of all the other cards, because when it spawns in, it's just going to dump 24 battle goals on top of here. And if you've got 12 old battle goals, suddenly you're up to 36 battle goals. I just wanted to briefly show you how to get your unlockable characters too. So just search. There's no spoilers. These are just what you see. Just grab and pull them out like you did with everything else. I hope you've liked this video. That's pretty much all of it. If you did like the video, please go ahead, hit that like button. It helps me so much. And subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications so that when I put out new content, you're notified. And thank you so much for watching the video.